Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching or listening to this, and welcome to another episode of the Non-Identity podcast. Now, today we're joined by someone, a comedian and a magician. It's JEVINHO. Welcome to the show. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for your time, Lee. This is Lee Marks. Nice to meet you, mate.
Before we get into the magic side of things and stuff, where was you born and where did you grow up?
I was actually born in Camden, hence straight out of Camden. And I was raised in Finchley. I went to a school in Finchley called Christ College in East Finchley. That's where I was raised. But I've lived all over the place, mate.
And how was school for you?
School, I was always a bit of a joker at school. I've got concentration span of a pigeon. Do you know what I mean? I literally, I was always messing around at school. I didn't mean to. It's just that if something doesn't interest me, then I just I go off on one. I start paying attention, or I just start messing about and fiddling around. So I never really enjoyed school, to be honest. And that's when, whilst I was at school, that's when I took up magic, and I used to, do tricks with coins, or I used to take my playing cards in and things like that. And I used to hustle a couple of people, get a couple of quid off some people so I can get some lunch.
And did that make you popular, being the magic man, or?
I was relatively popular. Yeah, people would always ask me. I'm known for stories, so people would come up to me in school and just go, "Yo, JEVINHO, tell me a story. JEVINHO, give me a story." Like I always have stories. Or they'll go, "Oh yeah, give me a trick, or show me a trick, or or what have you." So yeah, I used to get that quite a bit. Yeah, definitely.
And did it help with the ladies when you was younger as well, being a magician?
So it has done. To be honest with you, I think a lot of ladies find it a bit corny. Do you know what I mean? If I was going to go and approach a lady or try and chat up a lady, to be honest with you, I've never chatted up a lady in my life. This is the weird thing, Lee. I've never gone up to a woman and gone, "Yeah, you're right, darling. Yeah, you're pretty. Oh, can I get you a drink?" Or do you know what I mean? Like, I will feel this material. What material? That's boyfriend material or whatever. An easy chat up line or whatever it is that you use. But no, I've never actually chatted up or gone up to a woman and chatted up a woman in my life. Believe it or not, even though I've got a lot of confidence behind the camera and in my performances on TikTok. And obviously with a deck of playing cards and things like that, actually behind closed doors, I don't think I'm actually that confident, to be fair. Especially, I'm scared of rejection, I think.
And do you feel that's why you perform then? Because in a way, when you're performing, you've got to be someone else in a way, so you don't sort of have to be you, because you've got to be super confident and do all the moves and stuff like that. So do you feel that's why you was drawn to performing and stuff?
Yeah, I think that is why I'm a bit of a clown. I'm a bit of a joker, and I like to perform, actually. Yeah, I think so. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot of time and hours that go into my TikToks, believe it or not. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I nail them on the first attempt. And sometimes I go back and I will record it 2 or 3 times to get it right. Which is just a learning curve from recording so many TikToks. You see, I jumped on TikTok at the beginning of lockdown in March 2020 because out sheer boredom. Obviously, it was right at the beginning of the pandemic, yeah. And I was sick, tired of watching the negative news. We're all going to die. Massive pandemic, COVID. We're all going to die. Do you know what I mean? And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is doing my head in. So what I was doing is I had a couple of friends come around, a couple of girlfriends of mine. We were playing cards. I played like London. I call it London Blackjack. It's a wicked game. Maybe I'll teach you one day. And I was playing with these a couple of girlfriends of mine, and I said to her, "Ladies, do you want to see a wicked card trick?" So I performed the card trick to them, and she was like, "Oh, that was good." And I said, "Oh, right." She said, "Have you ever thought about going on social media and doing a couple of magic tricks on social media?" And I'm like, "Not really. I've got to be honest with you. No, not really." And she said, "Oh, right. Well, why don't you go on TikTok?" And I said, "Well, what's that?" She said, "It's like this. It's like the new kids platform kind of thing." And I was like, "Kids?" She said, "Yeah." And I was just like, "Oh, Oh, not really. No, I'm not. That might be a bit noncy. I don't really want to do that. Do you know what I mean? And she goes, oh, you've got nothing to lose. What are you going to do? Watch the news all day, or like you can perform like just a couple of magic tricks. And then basically she left. She went back to Scotland, and before I knew it, I got a brand new deck of playing cards that just arrived in the post. Yeah, with a note saying "good luck," right? And then that was it, right? That's it. And then I didn't even know who these playing cards were from, Lee. Right? They just came in the post. So I'm like, this is a bit weird. So I've got these playing cards and I start messing around with them. You see, when I was younger, when I was at school and I was doing all of these magic tricks all the time, what happened was that when I was about 12 or 13 years old, I used to go out in my street and knock on the neighbours and go and ask them if they want their car washing. And I'd say I was going to cost, in and out for £5. Back in my day, I'm not going to tell you how old I am. That was quite good money. Do you know what I mean? And they pay me, and I saved up the money over the weeks. Maybe it came to about a month, and I saved up, and I was online looking at different magic tricks to buy. I liked cards, I liked coins, and different things like that. And I started going bigger, and I bought this box. It's a custom-made, handcrafted box, beautiful. And it arrived in the post, and I thought, oh, this is nice, this is good. And I opened it all up, and you open it, it's got all of these trap doors and everything, right? And you open it all up, and you go, look, and you put your hand through, and you go, look, there's nothing in here, it's completely empty, yeah? And you go, yeah, and I go, right, give me your wallet, give me your keys, give me your phone, and I'll take all of your items, and I close it all up, and I put them all in this box, right? And then I was like, right, and then you open it up again, and you put your hand through, and you go, look, it's completely gone, the items are completely gone, Lee, right? And you go, yeah. And the problem is, I was like, well, how do I get them back? Right? I was thinking, oh, I know how to get them back, but this is I think there's a design fault with this £125 trick that I've just purchased, because I'm thinking, oh, actually, this is going to look a little bit blatant when I'm doing it. Anyway, and then and so from there, I was just very disappointed that all that hard graft and everything. I bought that trick, and it was really disappointing. And from there, I never went back to magic. I stopped.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
until these cards turned up in the post.
Until the cards arrived in the post in March 2020, and then that was it. I just got shuffling the cards, and I thought, okay, let me jump on this TikTok platform and see what's happening. Then obviously I'm then recording like a 60-second video. There's no way I could do these tricks in 15 seconds. So I had to click on the 60-second button. And then I was just, doing tricks and tricks and tricks. But then people were saying, oh, how's it done? And I was like, well, we've all got to learn. So yeah, I'll teach you how it's done, this is the first one I learned at school or whatever. Then I taught it. And then suddenly I've got a video that's got like 300 views. And then suddenly when I'm teaching it, I'm getting 3,000 views. And I'm like, okay, well, there are obviously people out there, especially in lockdown, that want to get a new hobby, right? And that's what my channel is all about, getting people to learn normal 52 playing cards, right, that you have at home, yeah, or your nan has at home, yeah, and normal playing cards, and you can perform most of the tricks that I teach on my channel at your home, in the comfort of your own living room. There's no tricks, there's no gimmicks. All it is understanding the playing cards and the formulas and the systems and the setups with the cards, and anyone can do it.
Do you research for these tricks, or is there books somewhere that you read from? Do you make them up yourself? How do you come across these self-working tricks and stuff?
Okay, so growing up, I can show you my books if you like. This is my first book that I ever got when I was 8 years old. Okay, and look at the thickness of it, and there's loads of quality card tricks in this book. So I learned a lot of moves. Then I bought other books, and then I went on to YouTube, and then I learned tricks from YouTube. There's loads of different people on YouTube that I would learn the tricks from, and then from there, I've done so many videos, Lee, as you probably know, and then from there, I've now started teaching myself and creating my own magic tricks and my own skills, and so doing the same formula with the cards or the same mathematical equation, but coming with a different ending. So that I'll have a different, I'll do a color change, for example, or something like that. So, and I'll add a bit of a twist to the ending. Yeah. So, and that's basically what my channel is all about. And I also try to stick to the raw core reason as to why I went on TikTok in the first place. And that was to help people get a new hobby. That's it. End of.
TikTok though, because obviously it seems like everyone's on TikTok now. Do you find it's turning more and more negative as the years are going on? Or do you still think it's a place that is a positive area to still be on?
I had there depends on you have to have rhinoceros skin, right? If you're going to be a content creator, if you're going to go onto social media, you have to have rhinoceros skin, otherwise it won't work for you. You know, I know people who are they are quite fragile souls basically, and they say, oh yeah, I want to do this and I want to do fitness programs and I want to do different things like that. And I think to myself, and I look at them and I think, I think you take things personally. You would get upset. And now, I mean, for example, I've been in a dark place, especially when I'm by myself in lockdown, right? Performing these magic tricks and then having a couple of videos go viral and what have you. Then I was getting a lot of hate. You know, I was getting a lot of negative comments. And then what would happen is that there was a couple of occasions where I have taken those comments to heart and I have taken them to bed, and they have been playing around in my mind, you know. And I'm thinking to myself, actually, this is getting a bit dark now, right? There are a lot of haters. So what I done, I literally, and I'm really thick-skinned, right? I mean, I take a lot of stuff. I'm a younger brother. My older brother put me through hell growing up. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So like, but I used to just, I would hold down the comment and I would just delete it, or I would hold down the comment, block. And I got to a stage where I was getting a lot of hate, but because I would just go right, block, delete, block, delete, and then eventually you just they can't be bothered. You're not going to get. You always get a reaction from an action. Do you know what I mean? And I don't give them. I don't react. So they're not going to give me anything.
You've got to make something that people really either grab people or lovely flowers there. Just make them appear magic. But yeah, you've got to like either grab people's attention or just roll with the comments, and as you said, have a real thick skin.
I mean, but like for example, sometimes a video takes off. So I don't know how many videos that you've had. I just call it just a pop. They pop. I literally, you go to sleep, you wake up, and you get 99+ sign in the inbox, right? And you know a video's gone. It's just gone into oblivion, right? So it's on the main for you page. And what happens then is, what I usually do is I leave it. I take a step back and I allow the video to progress. Yeah, I don't really want to start posting more videos to mess around with the app and then kind of like ruin the potential of how far that video is actually going to get to. Do you know what I mean? So but I mean that's part of the addiction with social media. That's part of the addiction, and posting videos every single day, it becomes a bit of a habit. It becomes a bit of a drug, to be honest with you. When I had a video get 1.9 million views, I was just like, I'm chasing that next buzz. That was a buzz, that massive kick. And I'm thinking, right, okay, what was so special about that video? Why did that video get 1.9 and then the next video gets 900 views? What's that? How does that work? What made it so popular? And you start overthinking, you start wondering, going into overdrive. Yeah. And then I start looking at how other creators are presenting their tricks or their videos, yeah, and what's making them so better than my tricks and what have you. But then I try and bring it all the way back to the beginning. And why did I start TikTok? I started TikTok to help people learn and develop a new hobby. And that's what I stick to. And could I do other videos and do cheesy videos and say, oh my God, how many, if I flick this card in the cup, is it to go in? Am I going to get a like? Fingers crossed I do. That's just cheesy, corny nonsense in my eyes, and I see straight through it. And I don't want to be a fake person. I'm a realist at the end of the day. And it's like with your channel, you're there interviewing people, talking to people, you're interested in people, you want to learn more about them and their background and where they come from and their roots. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. And that's why all I want to do is just try and help people learn a new hobby. And that's what I want to show. Do you know what I mean? And I want, and that's it. And hopefully, and I have. There's so many people. Like I went to a TikTok show with my kids. My kid said to me, "Dad, I want to go to the TikTok fest down in Earl's Court." And I was like, all right, yeah. I said, well, TikTok fest there was like some show of some kind, and it had like YouTubers and people like that. And I went down there, and I'm with my kids, and people came up to me. And they were going, pulling my top, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And they go, here, autograph. And I'm like, why? And then they're like, because you're JEVINHO. And I'm like, where do you follow me? They're like, on TikTok. And I'm like, what do I do on TikTok? They're only about 8. Do you know what I mean? I go, what do I do on TikTok? And they go, card magic. And I go, have you learned any card tricks? And they're like, yeah, loads. And I'm like, all right, yeah, no worries. And I give them my autograph and I take a selfie with them. So I mean, and I get the mums going, yeah.
How does that make you feel though, knowing that? Because like for me, like in my type of work, our young people can start disengaging and getting angry. So I whip out the cards and that brings them back round, and that's learning stuff from you. Because it's easy, as you said, it's easy things you can just quickly set up and go. So how does that make you feel knowing that you're impacting on people? Is that a nice thing, or do you not really think about it?
It is a nice thing, and I do think about it. I was actually employed by a local authority here in North London, and they employed. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm still employed by them. As a teacher, teaching card magic in the school holidays. So it's just like a temping position, and I was brought on board to help children to learn about and understand playing cards, and to be honest with you, they took to it really well as well. Some of the children, because when I was performing a card trick, they're like, "Oh yeah, teach me, or show me how it's done. Show me how it's done." Do you know what I mean? And from there, then we were playing like London Blackjack as well at the same time. I was teaching them that game as well. And so from there, they took to it and they really enjoyed it. And of course, I get a kick out of helping people learn. I like to teach, to be honest with you. It's a passion of mine. And there's a lot of kids out there that go through a lot of struggles. They've been through a lot of dark, horrid times, man. And if I can just add a tiny bit of light to their day, then I've done something right. Or if I bring a smile to their face, then I feel like I've achieved something. Do you know what I mean?
No, as I said, I've been in the education sector for 20 years, so I get exactly where you're coming from. Oh, you've looked at magic from when you was younger and stuff. Was there anyone in particular that influenced you, or did you just enjoy tricks itself?
No, people. I grew up watching Paul Daniels. Oh my gosh, look at that weapon, Debbie McGee. I mean, I was Paul Daniels, and then I thought, oh yeah, like I wouldn't mind, learning a couple of tricks. Then I started seeing. Then Penn and Teller came on the TV, and then Penn and Teller really caught my attention, and then I started like learning, and that's when I think I went from like card magic and coin magic, and I started trying to take things, trying to raise my game a little bit, and David Copperfield as well, and then the Illusionist, and then obviously he made the Statue of Liberty disappear, and numerous other tricks. And then from there, yeah. And then from there, getting older, then you've got the likes of someone like David Blaine, and then Dynamo came on the scene. But the thing is about all of these tricks, Lee, is a lot of them is a lot of video editing that goes into these tricks. Yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes that goes into these things, and I appreciate that. In order to get the wow factor or the impossible factor, I think that's basically what needs to happen, what needs to take place. But it's how it is in 2022 these days. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. There's a lot of people all over social media, and they're always editing things. They're using trick decks, special effects, CGIs, things like that. I'm just old school, man. I could barely log into this Zoom call, mate. Do you know what I mean?
No, totally agree. How do you find the editing process? Because for me, that's the hardest point I find when editing these podcasts. How do you find that?
I think because I've done so many different videos. To be honest with you, I think in terms of that editing and what you can actually do on TikTok, I don't think I even use 5% of what it actually does, because I post. I'm more of a number cruncher. Yeah, I'm more, try and post, like I'll post 3 videos in a row. Before I had time on my hands. Nowadays, I don't have an awful lot of time like I did in lockdown, to be honest. So if I do get a spare half an hour or an hour, then obviously I try and smash out 3 tricks that I can, or 3 tutorials, or I do 2 performances, and then I do a tutorial. So it's just it just depends. Honestly, you know, getting a video to pop is just luck of the draw. It's luck of the draw, man. As simple as that. You know, either the algorithms are going to get it and take it to the next level, or they're not. It's literally as simple as that. There are people out there, you know, I've seen them do it, and they're more or less verified, and they just all have to do is say hello, and the video goes viral. I mean, so and there's so many people that just post a lot of nonsense, and I find that humans just like to watch nonsense, mate.
Yeah, it's easy TV sometimes, isn't it? And I think that's the thing that's good about like YouTube and TikTok and stuff. It's giving people the opportunity. When you're younger, you look at the TV, be like, I want to be on TV one day. Now, in a way, you can be, because you can create your own channel.
Yeah, yeah.
But then, as you said earlier on, people are in under the pressure because they want the numbers, they want things to pop, they want to try and things. So it can also cause a lot of pressure on people, because if you just turn into someone who wants to be viral all the time, you're putting up rubbish, like I said earlier, or jumble, and you're not making sense with what you're doing. And like you said, you lose your message of what you wanted to do. So it has its pros and cons, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It does. Yeah, and definitely you are chasing that next viral video. You are chasing that next one, because to be honest with you, you start earning money on TikTok. You can start earning. You don't earn a lot of money, but you do have a creator fund at the end of the day. And I've got a certain amount of money in my creator fund. It's not an awful lot of money, but in the day, and I haven't even touched it. I haven't even gone there. I don't even know how to get it out, to be honest with you. And I've been told they take about 80% anyway. But it wasn't. Yeah, as I said, I didn't jump on TikTok to earn money. And they introduced it to me. Do you know what I mean? And I have other companies who from outside, externally, who have approached me asking me to advertise or promote their product. And then, you know, most of the time they're in China. And I think to myself, you know, and so what is it that, you know, you give me a catalogue of items that you would like me to promote on my channel, right? And if, being a realist at the end of the day, right, am I going to promote a water bottle, right? Not really my bag. No. If you give me branding, give me a hoodie, give me a decent cap, yeah, then I'm more than happy to wear it as I'm performing a magic trick, right? Or something like that, then I'm more than happy to put an ad on my video. But I asked them to just send me the clothing or what have you. It never arrives, or lack of communication. Then I'm finding I'm wasting my time talking to someone that, you know, their first language isn't even English. Do you know what I mean? And then it's like pulling teeth and trying to get blood out of a stone. And I'm just like, you know what? This isn't really for me. And I've seen so many people trying to promote items on social media. And if you compare those videos compared to the other videos, the numbers drop massively because people are not daft. They're not stupid. They know exactly that that person is trying to sell them something. And people don't like it. They don't like it.
So Nike, if you are watching, is the man to promote your clothes.
I'm Adidas. All day I dream about sex, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like, you know, of course, Adidas or Nike or anyone wants me to wear, you know, their garments as I'm, you know, I've also thought about, you know, making my own playing cards, branding my own playing cards. I've also thought about doing my own merchandise, and I've also thought about, you know, I've got a lot of content, Lee, and I'm looking for somebody that knows and understands about algorithms. They understand about media platforms. They understand about Instagram, the YouTube, all that kind of stuff. I'm old school. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather just give all of my passwords and everything, all of my content over to a professional, yeah, and say, look, tell you what, this will keep you busy for a year. Trust me, right? Get you start, and start uploading all of the material and everything that I've done. Is anything that you don't like, you want me to re-record it, I'm more than happy to do it, or re-perform the same trick again, etc., etc. If you think I could do it better, what can I change? How can I make myself grow and make myself better? I'm all about that, you know what I mean? So that's how I like to be, because I have not got I've not got the time to be doing that now. Do you know what I mean? I honestly haven't. It's a full-time job being a creator, let me tell you.
How do you get the ideas? Like, is it just do you have a schedule for the week and think, right, today if I've got the time I'm going to do this trick, that trick? How do you know what trick and when to do it?
That's a very, very good question, right? I can't even remember what I had to eat last night, right? But for some reason, I think it's the right or left part of the brain. I think I'm very strong right-brained, and I'm very good at remembering numbers and calculations and that kind of thing. So when I perform a card trick, I think to myself, oh yeah, I like that reveal, or I like that slide, and I like the angle of that trick and how and the outcome of that trick. Then I will remember that one. Then I will remember another outcome, and then obviously there's a setup. Sometimes there's a setup involved with the playing cards before you start the trick, or you get self-working mathematical ones where they are impromptu and there's no setup actually required with the playing cards themselves. So it's just a matter of remembering. I just remember all of the tricks that I've done, right? It's like my brain is like a bank. Yeah, I just, on autopilot, I know more or less what trick I've performed and compared to ones which I've just learned. So recently I posted another self-working one, and I haven't done that one because I didn't know it. I've never learned that one. So I post it. You know what I mean? So I've learned it from somewhere, and then I go and post it. And people are telling me you should write a book. You should, you know, I should write a book. But then how can I write a book on somebody else's trick? Someone else has made up that trick, you know. So I can't just go, oh yeah, I'm going to go and get this book. You know, look, you've got Garcia and Schindler in this book, or you've got Ed Marlowe. People go, who thought that one? I go, Ed Marlowe. Oh, what's that? Oh, this is the Marlowe tilt. Oh, this is the Marlowe cut. Because if you say it's Ed Marlowe's created most of them, to be honest with you. So if you say that, then you can't really go wrong. Do you know what I mean?
No, exactly. I've seen some videos where you're like in your dressing gown and stuff like that. Is that a conscious decision, or is it like it's that time of night, I'm ready to post something, so I'm just going to do it? So is it done on purpose, or is that just you?
It's just me. It's me being me. It's me being real. It's at the end of the day, it's first thing on a Saturday morning, and I think to myself, right, I've got half an hour window. Let me go and do it. or my clothes are in the tumble dryer, in the washing machine, and I'll have the noise in the background as I'm recording. So there's loads of things, and I think to myself, actually, I'll turn that off now. I'll wear my dressing gown, because I don't really, at the end of the day, it doesn't really bother me what I'm wearing, right? It's all about the material, right, and what I'm putting out. And obviously, I as I said, I don't really. It doesn't really bother me what I'm wearing. I could wear a t-shirt, or I could wear these flowers on my head. You know what I mean? I don't really care. Obviously, I've done well to get the amount of followers that I've got. Yeah, and I've always been true to me.
Yeah.
You know, that's the most important thing. That's what I'm happy with. I've never gone away from me.
And I think that's why, like, I was drawn to your content, because you seem like someone just through the camera, and it's only like minute videos that I could go and have a pint with or something like that. And then you're doing some really cool stuff with cards, which makes me add on. If he can do it, then I can do it. Because
absolutely,
he's a relatable guy, so a down to earth normal guy.
Exactly, and that is, you nailed it, mate. That is exactly what I'm trying to portray in my content, in my material. That is exactly what I'm talking about. And with regards to, and I have gone out for a pint with a couple of people who follow me on TikTok. They've reached out and said, look, listen, I want to go out, I want to meet you for a pint, I'll come and meet me for a pint. And I've taken my cards, and they're like, listen, I'm not even interested in the cards, mate. I just wanted to meet you. Hello, do you know what I mean? And I go, oh, yeah, wicked, man. I've got the night off, brilliant. Do you know what I mean? So there are loads of people out there who are genuine and real, but there's obviously also people out there who are not. And this is the difficulty of social media, is filtering out the snake fakes from the genuine people, and it's difficult to sort out, if you know what I mean. There's a lot of haters out there, mate. Yeah, there's a lot of people always who are watching you in the background. Yeah, like, so, and it's another thing that you have to be wary about when you get yourself on social media and you become a creator, if you like. There are a lot of people who want you to not do well. Do you know what I mean? Or there's a lot of sharp.
Yeah, sorry. Do you think that's jealousy? Do you think because you've got a good skill, you've got a lot of, I hate the word followers, I call them supporters. A lot of supporters on TikTok. You've got a good skill in that. So do you think that someone's seen you do good, so it's a bit of jealousy, so they're going to hate and try and bring you down?
Well, thank you for saying that. It means a lot. I think that maybe there is jealousy there. Yeah, there is jealousy, I think, and there's also just a lot of people who are just out there to just cause upset for no reason. Do you know what I mean? Because they're unhappy with their own lives at the end of the day, and they're just trying to portray their hatred onto others. But that's I'm a lover, not a fighter at the end of the day, and that's how I live my life. And I'm not about, I just don't, as I said, delete block, and that involves the real world as well. Do you know what I mean? So
no, exactly, it's a good attitude to have. Is there one trick that you can't get your head around doing, that you want to do and that you want to perform, but you just can't get it yet?
Yeah, there are plenty. I mean, if you I don't know if you follow a guy called Gianni Palumbo on TikTok. He's absolutely out of this world in terms of card control and manipulation. There's loads of things that he does that I just think to myself, I wouldn't even know where to begin. And there's also a lot of cardistry moves. Cardistry is the art of juggling. If you don't know what cardistry is, you've got playing cards.
Dynamo does all that, and the cards all turning and flipping. Is that what Dynamo does all?
Right, yeah. Exactly. So so they go like that, and they can create like a pyramid, or they can create like a sculpture, and it's all twisting and flipping and what have you. And they can actually do it by keeping, so if the top card is the ace of spades, for example, they can go like this and flip it and go like that and make these patterns in the air, and then close it all up, and the ace of spades will still be on top. Do you know what I mean? So It's just card manipulation and cardistry. I don't know about cardistry. I've never learnt cardistry, and cardistry is probably something which I put another string to add to my bow. You know what I mean? But I just, again, there's so many things to learn with playing cards. If it's not mathematics, yeah, it's sequences, it's understanding. It's also, when you hold a deck of playing cards, it sounds really weird, right? But when you hold a deck of playing cards and you're doing this all day, and you're counting cards, and you're springing cards, and you're cutting cards, right, and shuffling cards, it actually gives you muscle memory in your hands, right? So when you grip something, you know, when your wife goes, "Oh, Lee, come and open this jar for me," you might go, I come along and I just go, done. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, because of the muscle memory in my hand on those playing cards, yeah. And trust me, having good tight grip, yeah, it can come in handy.
I know your channel's about revealing a tutorial, but can we please have an exclusive? I want you to reveal your biggest secret. Who is Bob, and why do we not see him on screen?
Okay, so from day one, when I started on TikTok, I straight away created these characters in my head of DJ Doris, and Bob. Okay, and why? Because they just came into my mind whilst I was at the park getting drunk, coming back and then becoming addicted to TikTok and recording a TikTok every single day and doing a magic trick and doing a tutorial and what have you. And then suddenly, out of sheer boredom and basically losing the will to live and probably having a breakdown, I then created DJ Doris and Bob. Okay, and then what happened was that DJ Doris was dropping all of these wicked tunes, right? And she was playing these fantastic tunes, and she was playing tunes made out of bottles, you name it, and all these different well-known tracks from different artists. And one minute she'll be DJing, you know, with a big toe, or she'll be doing something really crazy, yeah, in the background. And I'll be like, "Oh, yeah, well done, Doris. That's absolutely amazing. Keep it up, girl." Right, Doris, okay, 1, 2, 3, go, play the track. And she'll be playing her music, and I'll be performing a magic trick. But what happened is, because of copyright reasons and music reasons and what have you, all of DJ Doris's tunes got banned, right? Because they were going on for too long. So I think it passed, like, I don't know, a 15-second window where the copyright kicks in and the algorithms pick it up and they go bang, and I lose my sound on my video, right? And it's like, so I had to sack DJ Doris off, unfortunately, because she's she just kept on getting banned all the time. Do you know what I mean? So, but I kept Bob. I kept Bob because I don't have another person here with me to perform the magic tricks on, right? Mainly because at the time I was living by myself, as I said, but so I was just pretending, you know, maybe these flowers are Bob, right? And I'll be doing it. But if I do it off camera like that, it looks more realistic, doesn't it, Bob? Do you know what I mean? He's asking, "Oh, mate." Yeah, he's asking who you are, Bob. What should I tell him, right? Nothing. All right, okay. He said, "No, I can't tell you who."
Okay.
I mean, so
before we get the exclusive for a second, I'm just going to ask one last question, which I ask everyone that comes on, and whatever you answer will not change your life journey so far. But if you had 30 seconds with your 13-year-old self, what would you say?
I would say there's in this world, we all worry and we all stress about over little things. And there's one thing, if you don't have control over that, then honestly, there's no point of stressing over it. If there's no point of stressing or worrying over something that you've got no control over at the end of the day. And I spend a lot of time and energy worrying and panic attacks and getting myself into a situation. Even going to like secondary school, I'll be going, "Oh my gosh, I don't know what to expect. Am I going to get bullied out? yeah, am I intelligent enough? Am I wise enough? And at the end of the day, just take each day as it comes, take it in your stride and enjoy every moment. Because honestly, we've all been there, we've all done it. Whatever that you're going through today, someone else has also been going through or gone through exactly the same thing. And and I've applied that to our life, and don't worry about the job. A job is a job at the end of the day. Go and work for Tesco's, go and stack shelves, and if you go and do that job for 3 months, and if you're not enjoying that one whilst you're doing that job, apply for another one, maybe as a florist. If you want to be a florist and do some artistry and start doing flower creations, then go and do that and apply for that job. And then guess what? Go and do a bit of floristry for a couple of months. Oh, suddenly you don't enjoy that? No worries. Or maybe I'll become a magician. Maybe I'll go and follow JEVINHO on YouTube or on TikTok, and maybe I'll learn a couple of card tricks. Or maybe I'm going to be a magician today. Oh, excellent. Oh, actually, I'm not enjoying that. Maybe I'm going to do, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, find what it is that you enjoy and stick to it. And when you find that whatever it is that you enjoy doing, you'll find it. But you don't have to make an immediate decision now. Take your time and don't overthink things. That's what I would tell my 13-year-old self. And I think there's a lot of people out there who worry and panic over things that honestly are just not worth worrying or panicking over, because they get themselves in that situation and they try it out and they live it, and they realize actually there's someone who's always worse off than them, and they've been worrying over something that there's no point in worrying in the first place. It happens all the time, but that's a learning, and that's for your and my followers to learn at the end of the day.
Oh, lovely, brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time. And if you want to follow JEVINHO, all links to YouTube and TikTok will be in the description below. So please jump on there and get following. There is some wicked tutorials with cards and coins and everything. Thank you for choosing us to come and speak to. It's been a real pleasure.
Go and give Lee Parks a follow and reach out to Lee Parks if you want to have an interview or do a podcast. Yeah, top man. Much love to you in the one.